वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरये नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकीम्. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, 16th chapter, text number 9. येषां बिभर्यहम् अखण्ड विकुण्ठ योगा माया विभूतिरमलाङ्घ्रिरजः किरीटैः विप्रांस्तु को न विषयेत यदर्हणाम्बः सद्यः पुनाति सह चन्द्रललामलोकान् येषां बिभर्यहमखण्डविकुण्ठयोगा माया विभूतिरमलाङ्घ्रिरजः किरीटैः विप्रांस्तु को न विषयेत यदर्हणाम्बः सद्यः पुनाति सह चन्द्रललामलोकान् येषां बिभर्यहमखण्डविकुण्ठयोगा माया विभूतिरमलाङ्घ्रिरजः किरीटैः विप्रांस्तु को न विषयेत यदर्हणाम्बः सद्यः पुनाति सह चन्द्रललामलोकान् Word to word meaning. Yesham of the Brahmanas. Bibharami, I bear. Aham, I. Akhanda, unbroken. Vikunta, unobstructed. Yogamaya, internal energy. Vibhutihi, opulence. Amala, pure. Angri, of the feet. Rajaha, the dust. Kiritaihi, on my helmet. Vipran, the Brahmanas. Tu, then. Kaha, who. Na, not. Vishayeta, carry. Yat, of the Supreme Lord. Arhanahambaha, water which has washed the feet. Sadhyaha, at once. Punhati, sanctifies. Saha, along with. Chandralalama, Lord Shiva. Lokan, the three worlds. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? Please repeat the translation. I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? Purport: the difference between the internal and external energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that in the internal energy or in the spiritual world, all the opulences are undisturbed, whereas in the external or material energy, all the opulences are temporary manifestations. The Lord's supremacy is equal in both the spiritual and material worlds, but the spiritual world is called the kingdom of God and the material world is called the kingdom of Maya. Maya refers to that which is not actually fact. The opulence of the material world is a reflection. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that this material world is just like a tree whose roots are up and branches down. This means that the material world is a shadow of the spiritual world. Real opulence is in the spiritual world. In the spiritual world, the predominating deity is the Lord Himself, whereas in the material world, there are many lords. That is the difference between the internal and external energies. The Lord says that although He is the predominating factor of the internal energy, and although the material world is sanctified just by the water that has washed His feet, He has the greatest respect for the Brahmana and the Vaishnava. When the Lord Himself offers so much respect to the Vaishnava and the Brahmana, how can one deny such respect to such personalities? Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jayo Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yesham Bibhariham Akanda Vikunta Yoga Maya Vibhuti Ramalangri Rajak Kiritai Vipramstu Kona Vishayeta Yadharan Arhanamba Sadhya Punati Saha Chandra Lalama Lokaha. I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? So one more verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, glorifying the exalted status of a pure Vaishnava. It is so rare. The exalted personality, like a pure devotee of the Lord, is so rare. A Vaishnava is so rare. Vaishnava is a reserve. We must consider, like for example, sometimes our idea, our conception of a Vaishnava gets limited to very external symbols. We think a Vaishnava is only, or we identify a Vaishnava by his external dress, his shaved head, his tilak, his kantimala. We just limit it to these aspects. It is common sense. Like for example, in this verse, the Lord is saying that I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy. Which means the Lord is completely Purnaha, something that will always be in full. Prabhupada in this purport is defining what is internal and external energy. Prabhupada says the difference between internal and external energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is that the internal energy, or in the spiritual world, all the opulences are undisturbed, whereas in the external or material energy, all the opulences are temporary manifestations. If there is X quantity of substance, and from that X quantity of substance, if we remove some Y quantity from that, then what remains in that X is X minus Y. Whereas in the spiritual realm, in the internal potency of the Lord, if X is the quantity and if you remove Y, it still remains X. So that is a principle. in the material realm, in the external realm, to the proportion to which you indulge in, that much it will start getting reduced. Whereas in the spiritual realm, it's always full, no matter what you take from it. That is why Prabhupada is saying here, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is in the internal energy or in the spiritual world, his opulences remain undisturbed. It is not affected at all. Because Lord is the source of all energies. Or all energies are manifested from Him. It keeps self-generating, doesn't end at all. There is no shelf life, there is no expiry date there. In the material world, everything has an expiry date. And then the Lord here says that I am the master of that internal energy. And then the Lord again further says that the water of the Ganges, now if you see Ganges, Ganga, if you see, it's a huge river. Huge river. What will be the quantity of water in Ganga? Unimaginable. The force at which the Ganga flows, phenomenal. And here the Lord is saying that Ganga flows from me. And then it flows from the feet of the Lord. And from the flowing from the feet of the Lord, it falls on Lord Shiva's head. So imagine the water that is washed from the lotus feet of the Lord goes and further falls on the head of the Lord Shiva. Everybody worships Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva, imagine somebody, when we want to take a bath, we want good water to take bath. Will we take water of somebody else's already washed water and take a bath? No. Whereas Lord Shiva is such a big personality. To wash himself, he is getting washed himself by the water which has washed the lotus feet of Lord Vishnu. And the Lord is saying here, I am a person who is of that position, of that caliber. Krishna himself is loudly proclaimed, see who I am. I am such a big person. I am not any ordinary person. I am such a big person. And me, such a big person, I will take the dust of the feet of a Vaishnava and apply it on my head. So just imagine the position of a Vaishnava. So, is that Vaishnava? That means you become a Vaishnava just by white dress or saffron dress and a tilak and a shikha? What should be the position of that Vaishnava? What should be the quality of that Vaishnava? If becoming a Vaishnava was so easy, just you have to wear white dress, you have to shave your head, have a tilak, have a shikha, then Vishnu will take the dust of your feet and put it on his head. Wow. The Lakshmi Pati, the husband of the goddess of fortune, will come, Vaishnava, Vaishnava, I want little dust from your feet to put it on my head. Is it so simple? So that is why Prabhupada says that there are two things. Prabhupada says we should not become sahajiya. Sahajiya means what? Sahajiya means accepting these spiritual understandings, spiritual practices very, very lightly, without any depth. Our spiritual idea our spiritual understanding should have proper depth. Otherwise, everything can be watered down. And when it is watered down, it has no value. Prabhupada always said, gave the example, a glass diamond, a imitation jewelry will look exactly like real jewelry. You cannot make out. But what is the difference between imitation jewelry and real jewelry? The difference between imitation and real is what? The real lasts for a long, 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 long time. The imitation jewelry, after a few days, which look very golden in color, will become some other color. And that's exactly what this verse is telling. Prabhupada is pointing out what is between the real and the fake. The real and the fake is internal energy, or in the spiritual world, all opulences are undisturbed, whereas in the external or material energy, all opulences are temporary manifestations. It looks so real. When we see a beautiful woman, a young, beautiful woman, she is so beautiful. She is so attractive. A man naturally gets attracted. But for how long? How long will that woman be so beautiful? For a few days, for a few months, for a few years. After that same beautiful person starts becoming very ugly. When you see a powerful person, wow, he is so powerful. And we get attracted by that power. But material world is repeatedly showing us the most powerful man becomes powerless. He will not even be able to walk after a few years. And then his body will be burnt or eaten by the worms in the stool. That is the nature of this material world. No matter how beautiful you are, how powerful you are, how educated you are, the most educated person, the most biggest Nobel laureate, when he is about to die, when he is suffering from some disease, he will not even be able to speak, he will not even be able to remember all the different big scientific talks, big theories, big intellectual stuff that he talked about, nothing will help him at all. He will be suffering in miserable pain. This is the reality of material existence. And we see this right in front of our eyes every day, in and out. So we must learn that when references are made like this, we must look at these references from the depth, not simply talk like that. The qualities of a Vaishnava are so exalted that the Lord is telling, please, I want to take that dust of the lotus feet of a pure devotee and put it on my head. What is the position of a pure devotee? It is so exalted. It is so exalted. In the Srimad Bhagavatam 9th canto, there is a very nice verse which indicates or which shows us the feelings, the mood of the Lord towards his pure devotee. It says, Sadhavo hridayam mayyaham sadhunaham hridayam tvaham madanyatte na janati naham tebhyo managapi. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. See, this is the crux. The Lord is talking, when the Lord is saying Vaishnava, when the Lord is saying a devotee, when the Lord is saying that I want to put the Raja, I want to put the dhuli of a Vaishnava on my head, what kind of a person is the Lord referring to? The Lord is saying that pure devotee, he does not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but him. Madanya te na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Madanyate na janati naham tebhyo managapi. Because the devotee of the Lord is always thinking of Krishna, he doesn't have any other idea of anyone else, anything else. So the Lord is also always, oh my God, this person is always thinking of me. This person is always thinking of me. So I will also reciprocate like that. This verse is being quoted in the Srimad Bhagavatam in reference to Maharaj Ambarish. When Maharaj Ambarish was attacked by the demons sent by Durvasa, what did Durvasa do? He simply meditated on Vishnu. He simply meditated on Vishnu. So immediately, Sudarshana came behind Durvasa Muni. So you see, Maharaj Ambarish's perspective in life, what was it? Savai mana Krishna padhara vindayor vachamsi vaikunta gunanu varnane karau mandira marj adishau. All facets of his life had only one purpose. All facets of his life was how to engage in various devotional services of the Lord, whether through the eyes, whether through the mouth, whether through his legs, whether through his hands, whether through his mind. Every aspect of his life was constantly engaged in serving the Lord. So obviously, the Lord also reciprocates every aspect of his life. Every aspect of his life, Krishna is in control. Krishna absolutely accepts that feelings and emotions of that person. Krishna consciousness is that one only. How we should become completely absorbed in the service of the Lord. Our 6 Goswamis were like that. Their mind, body, senses were completely absorbed in the name, fame, quality of the Supreme Personality. Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Padau. Constantly Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana. Constantly, fully absorbed in and Prabhupada has given us the Krishna conscious lifestyle for us to be in that realm of constantly being our mind, our intelligence, everything is within that space wherein we are always thinking of Krishna. How it is? It is very much achievable. It is very much achievable. This state of consciousness where we cannot think of anything other than Krishna. We get up in the morning, our program, our schedule is so created that we are able to maintain this kind of consciousness. We get up in the morning. We have to run to Mangalarti. We have 4:30, go to the toilet, somehow or the other. If the stool is not coming, we try to push, let it go. There's no time. All of us we are doing like that. Sometimes it comes, sometimes, no, you have to come, I have to go, 4:30, I have to go. There's no time to think all those things. Somehow we manage, we tell our mind, body to align itself to this consciousness. You get up, then you run, you come, take bath. Then you have to reach the temple. Then one after another, body is paining, legs are paining. We say, no, go on, chant. Then we have, pujaris are there. So much in the altar, so much work is there. But we have a deadline, 7:30. No matter what it is, we have to open the doors. Otherwise, Vyomapada will come and give abuse like anything. Right? Left, right, center, he will come and shout at us. So we are forced that no, it's there like this. Katak. Then we have the Bhagavatam class. We have Guru Puja. We have Darshanarti. Then afterwards, we are all having under pressure. Oh, we have to run. We have to manage our temple. We have duties, responsibilities. It's packed like that. So we pack ourselves. Well, it doesn't matter whether you're a temple devotee, outside also, oh, now I have to go, I have to earn some money. With that money, I have to keep my family members, somehow manage them. Otherwise, I will not be able to practice Krishna. So our mind, body system is so managed that the purpose of our life becomes only Krishna. If we are able to, if we are loose, and if we are not rigid, we have lost the consciousness. Oh, today I'll take it easy. Today I'll take it lightly. Gone. Nikatastha maya japati yadhara. One little moment you give to Maya, tatak, she will capture you. There is no space. That is the nature of a pure devotee. Pure devotee means what? Satatam kirtayanto yatantascha dradavrataha. He is dradavrataha and he is satatam. Constantly is on it, day in, day out, engage. Material world, people are doing it for just some temporary material pleasures. People are outside working like that. Some of the most successful material people, they also follow this principle. We have to be engaged. Come on, let's work. To achieve what? To achieve some temporary material glories. Because they do not have a higher purpose in life. They are driven by the temporary pleasures. Whereas we have to be driven by a spiritual purpose. We are not idle people. Prabhupada says we must become the most active people. We must become the most active people. Just like they say, Bombay never sleeps. So much activity, day activity, night activity, this activity, that. So many things are going on. It's a city that New York never sleeps. Every time you will find activity. Actually, the purpose of those activities is what? New York or Bombay or any big cities. Totally for sense gratification. The whole purpose there is what? How to enjoy this body, mind and senses. That is all the life's purposes in those big cities are. That's why Prabhupada says, the big cities are driven by Rajoguna, modes of passion. We want action. Action for a spiritual purpose. For a Krishna conscious, to be more specific, for a Krishna conscious purpose. Always. Like for example, if you go to some big pilgrimage centers in India, you go to Tirupati, you go to Banaras, you will find there 24 hours activity centered around Krishna, centered around a spiritual purpose. Our temples also should become like that. Actually, by Prabhupada's mercy, we close our altar 8:30, 9 o'clock, everything is over. By 3 o'clock, the Akshaya Patra will start. Continue activity. We are feeding prasadam for thousands and thousands of people. So we must create activities where it's jam-packed. Krishna conscious services, unlimited way should go on. Just like big cities are there, just like New York is there, just like Bombay is there. Whereas constantly people are running. I remember seeing first time when I saw the Howrah station at 5 o'clock in the evening, I was shocked. I have never seen anything like that in my life. You should really see the Howrah station at 5 o'clock. My God. Like cockroaches. Like when you open one, full bandara of cockroaches will be there, no? Suddenly you open. Like that, people are streaming in out of the Howrah station. So much activities. People are running. For what they are running? Just to maintain this body. They maintain this body or maintain their deha patya kalatradishu asat sainyes asat swapi. Bhagavat says, just to maintain their deha and their extended deha, which is ultimately an asat sainya. We must understand the depth of it. So, the Lord is very much concerned. If we engage in the Lord's service, then we will be able to immediately experience the Lord's reciprocation. As mentioned here, Sadhavo hridayam mayyam sadhunam hridayam tvaham madanyatte janati naham tebhyo managapi. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always in the heart of the pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anyone else but them. Or the Lord here is saying, Yesham bibariham akanda vikunta yoga maya vibhuti ramalangri rajak kiritai vipramstu kona vishayeta yad arhanambaha sadhya punati saha chandra lalama lokan. I am the master of my unobstructed internal energy, and the water of the Ganges is the remnant left after my feet are washed. That water sanctifies the three worlds along with Lord Shiva, who bears it on his head. If I can take the dust of the feet of the Vaishnava on my head, who will refuse to do the same? See? So inspiring, the quality of the Vaishnava. But it is not a Vaishnava of just some external symbols. Just because of hairstyle, just because of dress. No, not that kind of a Vaishnava. Much more deeper than those things. But if we practice the instructions that Srila Prabhupada has given us, then definitely we will be able to achieve the highest perfection of our lives. We'll stop here if there's any question, comments. Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.